All right, everybody. Hello and welcome to the commentary for episode 9. I'm Becky. I'm the writer and creator, one of the actors. We've got Meghan here, who is also one of our actors. Walt's here, who was an actor. He directed, he DP'd, he did a lot of things. Dan is one of our actors. Eric and Connor, also actors. They're also producers on the show because of all the many things they did to help make it happen. We are going to watch episode 9.
Renee. I see you brought backup.
Adrian, I need your help.
I don't know if you were informed I'm no longer a member of Fleet.
No, you're not. But you do answer to your parole officer. Already spoke to him.
What do you need?
When we rescued the Australians, they were using a native plant in some sort of ceremonial ritual.
Chalkers, I read the report. What happened to the substitute?
Someone modified it. And anyone who is exposed isn't exactly in their right mind.
According to these readings, they're all high.
Has to equal x has to equal the cosine. Reverse the polarity. Advantage much lower. Plug in a flux capacitor. Bring this to ponies. The way they run, it's like an engine.
All right, got what we need.
Better be all we need.
Kelso?
Gentlemen, remember that I'm an ass.
And Samurai Sword is bringing up the rear. It's anybody's race.
Well, there's no signal to any of the feeds.
That's not good.
Mac and his team of architects and engineering must have disabled the system. What about sensors?
People are spread throughout the ship, that's about it. Here, kitty! Kitty, kitty! That's my good boy. Bye? Bye! Kitty!
Once they're injected, they'll be unconscious until the drug works its way out of their system.
Captain, a word. My decision stands. Move on.
She doesn't trust me.
Can you blame her?
Shells. Well, someone went full on mathematician.
Whoever did this may be onto something. The numbers look promising, but I don't know enough about quantum mechanics to fully understand it. I think she was supposed to be riding a horse.
You sure? I didn't hear any coconuts.
Then he would strip his sleeve and show his scars and say,
Is that
"These
Shakespeare?
wounds I had on Crispian's Day.
Henry V, Act 4, Scene
Old
3.
man, forget it. Yet all will be forgot. But he'll remember, with advantages.
I always preferred Marlon myself.
Captain Lucas, I've been trying to get a hold of you for hours.
My apologies, Admiral Rathbone. The Australians modified the chockers and it got released aboard the Odyssey.
Gave it to a bunch of stoners to take out an entire ship. I see you've enlisted the aid of Dr. Florence.
Dr. Smith is quite incapacitated.
Mine! No! Yes, Mom! No, he's mine! No! Stop it!
We'll find all the dinosaur bones and we'll go down in history.
That's right, it's all them dinosaurs.
Carlin! Thanks, I think.
No problem.
One of us is bleeding.
Get us together, one of us always ends up bleeding.
It's you.
That's just a scratch.
Let me look.
No, I'm a doctor. I'll be fine.
Defensive, now that you're the one bleeding.
Let's just keep going.
Hold still.
Well, this is a first. You're gonna bandage my arm, does that mean I get to give you orders?
Very funny.
Ow!
Baby.
You could really improve that bedside manner.
Lucky for you, I'm not a doctor.
This is impressive.
It's math.
Yes, but it's math for a new type of propulsion. If this is correct, it could change everything about space travel.
Huh. Well, I guess we better go find whoever made the scribbles.
Dun, 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 dun.
Et tu, Brute?
He's mine!
The leader knows my name. Take cover. Ha! Neither miss me.
What now?
Who you think? Surprise attack! Chaos! Boom!
Well, these things usually come in threes.
Never noticed. You go right, I'll go left.
Sure.
Then I go right.
If I'm going right.
Fire one!
You could have warned me.
Fire two! Fire three!
Threes, huh?
It needs to whisk like cotton candy, like pink and blue.
Looks like we found our mathematician.
Never fear. Your Casanova is here.
I'm gonna puke!
Nonsense, my love. I love to stop anything disgusting from coming out.
Stop laughing and dose him!
You ever miss things like building forts?
I live in a fort now. It's not so glorious as it was when we were kids.
True.
But I know what you mean. Somewhere along the way, I just lost all my joy.
It's a curse of adulthood.
I remember summers at the lake with my grandparents. I hardly ever slept. Joanna almost never left the lake. She was determined to be a mermaid when she grew up.
We miss Joanna.
Kelso and Vogel probably got her. What did you want to do when you grew up?
An engineer.
What changed?
I realized how much math was involved.
You never were very good at math.
I can handle the basics.
Well, we should probably release the gas.
Would love to. See that weird panel hanging from the wall over there with the wires hanging out?
Yeah?
That's the ventilation and dispersal system.
Well, Miss Engineer.
That's above my pay grade. Come on, let's go dose your sister.
Yeah.
close scrutinize.
Way to kill your best friend's buzz.
Why don't you head to medical?
Do you trust me?
You're gonna shoot me or yourself, you would have done it by now.
Doesn't mean I won't try something.
Are you gonna try something?
No.
You need to stop dragging this out. Look, you were lost in your grief, you fell in with a rogue element for a little bit, and then you came to your senses.
How can you be so cavalier about this?
Adrian, I've been running around my ship all day, dosing my crew with an antidote to a superweed. I'm wet, and I'm about to go crawl through a series of cramped tunnels to ventilate said superweed from my ship. I don't have the time or the energy to deal with your emotional issues because Kelso wasn't all sunflowers and daisies when we picked you up.
Good point.
Which one?
Well, they all have their merits, but the last one, the rest was just you rambling. You haven't done that in a while.
Don't have much need to nowadays.
Something I miss about you.
That why you didn't warn me about the water?
Maybe.
I can't believe I'm responsible.
We both were, sir.
But me, the chief engineer, building a pirate ship?
I wouldn't call what we built a pirate ship. More like a dinghy.
Why is there a water spot on my floor, Okiki? Okiki, you better be getting a mop.
I just received a department transfer request from Commander Rivera.
During this last incident, she stumbled across something that could change space travel. She'd like to pursue it full time, and I'd like to keep her on board as head of my science division.
This means you're going to need a new first officer.
Commander, mind if I join you?
Not at all. How's engineering?
She'll be right as rain in a day or so, Kiki. We went to find a mop hours ago. Have you seen...
I like quantum mechanics.
a fellow quantumite?
What's a quantumite?
Well, someone who enjoys quantum mechanics. It's what I call our small community.
I don't like that.
Boobies.
Oh! Not what I wanted to do.
Well, this is a first.
Come on. Where's my option? Okay. We'll do
When
it.
you do a commentary on a low budget.
when you do, oh yes, low budget, technical issues, it's fine. Back to screen share. That one.
It needs the background.
There we go. All right. So episode 9. That was a fun one to film.
Yes.
It was a fun one to film. Especially that end scene that we shot like 4 times with Eric and Meghan.
Yes.
I don't think either of us could keep a straight face.
No, Eric kept coming in with like any word you could spell on a calculator.
Yes.
Multiple takes.
That's right.
Boobies was a big one. Hell was another one.
Hell.
I think you had one that was Olo.
Oh no.
Olo.
Oh no. Oh man.
So many takes.
That was fun.
But thoughts on episode 9? If anybody wants to start us off, go for it.
I feel I mean, it's definitely the lighthearted, the most lighthearted of all the episodes, just because of all the weed. But also, there's a lot of good emotional things in there.
Yeah.
So there's you and Nose Creature reconnecting, things like that was just made me. I think everyone here giggled when we saw this scene.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, that was further out there than we thought it was going to go. So no, I thought it was really well done. The emotional scenes brought it back in a little bit, and the rest of it was just just fun and entertaining to watch.
A lot of those emotional scenes got added back in.
Yes.
Because I had cut them. For various reasons.
I'm glad you brought them back in because they needed it. It needed it.
Yeah, it did.
To level it out.
All of the many rewatches, and part of it was I'd forgotten about some of those scenes. That's happened with every episode. I forgot, like, we condensed it pretty early on, and then I didn't think about it until I was cutting the blooper reels together, and then I was like, what is this scene? And I went back and I found some of these scenes. Percy! Sorry, the cat has joined us. He's trying to steal my pen. It's fine.
That space age photocopier in that last scene, or
the space age photocopier?
Yeah, I was wondering if that's what it was. Yeah.
Listen, whatever we had that was just laying around, I think.
Oh, seriously, I jest, but some of the CGI in this is just looks great. I really enjoy a lot of the screens and things that we have.
Worked out. Some of these Insta walls, I wish we would have had a bigger steamer. Get all the wrinkles out of the Insta wall.
Insta walls.
Yeah, the instant walls. Those and those stupid U shelves.
I have to say the level of like how people were on it when they got shot and then collapsed was just it's great. It's
yeah.
I mean, maybe not that one, but
yeah, I think everybody had fun getting dosed and shot.
Oh yeah.
From what I remember, everybody had fun falling over and doing crazy things.
Shooting this episode was just fun. I think there was a lot of time to just kind of come in and play and have a good time.
Well, you went and found actual math equations and like memorized them all.
Well, I had to write them down. Like that right there is added in for a background, but I was told that I was going to literally have to write out equations on the wall for a lot of the coverage, and so I was like, well, okay.
Which the only shot we got was that opening scene right after Emily.
Yeah.
With you actually writing on the wall. Everything else, she was pantomiming it. So I had to go find equations written on the wall. Because we just
those guns look great. They really do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nerf and a paint job.
Yeah, the sound effect really worked for those as well. The stun, the stun sound.
This is my favorite scene of the whole. This is right there.
So good.
And that.
Is that what his foreshort was based on? It was like the further adventures of Martin after Fleet.
That's right. We did do one where he was a mime again, or no, he had the clown makeup, but it was you and him in the waiting room. That's right.
I think that was the first time I met him because I hadn't actually been on set with him for any of this stuff. So I was just like, who's this weird guy in clown makeup?
Then it kind of became a running gag. How many times can we put Martin in clown makeup?
Nice.
During COVID. When we were making shorts and entertaining ourselves. I literally got that fake blood all over my pants. And it took like 7 takes for me to realize that's where it came from, was Noah's arm.
Can I just say the sexual tension in this scene is just off the charts between these two.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of that between those two in the
Yeah.
whole series, really.
Noah's a really great scene partner. Him and his perfectly coiffed hair.
The leading man style people.
My hair's a disaster half the time, but his is always just perfectly coiffed. Just, whew. Some of Melissa's lines in this I regret. I regret I don't hear any coconuts.
I thought it was, I laughed at that. I mean, not out loud, but in quiet. You know.
You laughed on the inside, Walt, yeah?
I did, yeah.
Every time I've had to watch it in the edit, and I'm like, why did I write that? Why? Well, I hope, Eric, because I know for a hot minute you were the composer, which, thanks to you, we have a theme song.
Which is great, by the way.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. Everybody loves it. Hopefully I found some decent pirate music, because I know you had plans. And then the computer died.
Yeah, that was rough. I was really sad that I couldn't add more in, but the computer was just like, I'm done. So
well, hopefully the pirate music I found does some justice to what you had in your brain.
yeah, that's great. This is I'm it's slowly coming back to me, but I remember filming this and like the post production on this work is really good.
Thanks. It only took 9 years.
Right.
Hours and hours.
Not gonna lie, last night I was up till 1, finished redoing color correction on 9.
Yeah.
Because I realized there were issues.
This thing, and I'm just cackling in the background.
That right
and then
there.
shoot.
Okay, I'll get him.
That's my favorite part with Matt and that rose in the fall. He did such a good job. And if you don't know, because we talked about this the other day when Matt was on, Matt was in an acting class, and when he found out he was going to be playing a Frenchman, he did every scene forward in that acting class with a French accent to make sure he got it.
Nice.
And he worked with another actor friend to make sure he had that French accent down.
That's awesome.
It was more authentic than my British accent, I have to say. So.
You also do a decent American, Dan. I've heard it. I think for the most part, accents were... Everybody did really well with the accents. There were a few issues, but for the most part, everybody's accent was really, really well done. Haley had way too much fun in the pool.
Where was this pool? Where do you film that?
My parents' house.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I was going to say, yeah. Did you have to get special dispensation from your HOA? I was wondering.
Did you like the C-stand leg in this shot? It was in the lower left-hand corner.
Can these two just get it on already? It's just it's too much now.
That's for season 2.
There's a lot of things in season 2 that nobody knows about.
Coming in 2035.
Only if we have a budget.
Filming next week, coming in 2035.
Only if we have a budget and an actual soundstage.
Yeah.
10 years later, and they're still all on the ship.
Because, yeah.
We have to bring the carpets back.
Oh, yeah. And the blinds. Definitely the blinds. Too.
The blinds, yeah.
I think we'll have a special carpet and blind budget, maybe. So.
I'm not going to lie. Part of the reason editing took so long was because the scenes with the blinds, I got mad at them, and I tried so hard to fix them, and when I couldn't, I had to walk away. I had to walk away for a little bit and be like, it's okay. And then I had to go back to it. The blinds are not my favorite. That box ended up in like every shot.
It had different like letters, and we would rotate it based on like where it was in the ship, or like if it's in the cargo bay or engineering or.
Yeah.
And I think those metal panels, we would like rotate them, and then they would have like different things on them too, that are in a lot of these background shots to indicate like where you are on the ship. Was the
that was the plan.
intention.
Yeah. Well, then we had the colored panels on the side of the door that actually lit up, but we always forgot to turn them on. we forgot to turn those on 99% of the time.
And this really is a very sweet scene.
It really
just
is.
like, like, hey, I want to nerd out, but I want to nerd out with you a little bit,
It was really sweet. When I was looking at this scene the other day, because I found some blooper reel stuff, and I went back and I had completely forgotten we shot this like 3 different times.
Yes.
And I forgot that I was originally in this scene at the start of it, telling you that you could stay and you were going to be the head of the new whatever department it was to pursue this equation that she scribbled all over the walls. And then Eric comes in, and I basically hook them up saying, oh, well, she likes quantum mechanics. And then this weirdness happens, and I go, oh, okay, I'm going to go see anybody about anything else.
Oh, look at my wrist. It's time to go.
Yeah, pretty much. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's freaking hilarious. But I couldn't add it back in. So when we shot the one we used, they were flipped from how all the others were shot. I was like, oh, well, that's okay.
Oh, I have to say this is my second best performance in the entire thing. So wait, that which was my best. So.
Oh, Dan. We'll see more of Dan in some of the other episodes.
We saw a lot of him in 1 and 2.
Yeah.
We'll see more of him in 3 and 6.
Yeah.
3 and 6, but 1 and 2 was fun. He laid on a medical bed for a little bit. It was the thing because he got beat up by a shadow.
Oh, right.
He got beat up by that stinking shadow. Kicked his butt.
It's about the size of it, yeah.
Yeah. The number of times you threw yourself into that wall. When we were filming. Goodness. So 9 in the super space weed from the Australians.
When do we which episode was it you introduced the Australians?
Episode 3.
That's 3? Okay.
That's episode 3. So
That's
we're doing
right.
commentary for that next week.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
For anyone who's watching us out of order or in order.
It'll be up before you get to this commentary. Because 3 is gonna drop the second week in April. Friday's a week. Yes.
Sure.
It's a weekday.
Sometime the whole week.
I don't know. My days blend at this point. All right. So from what we've watched in 8 and 9 at this point, any big lessons anybody cares to share about the process? So many. You want to start us off, Dan? Sure.
No,
Don't.
The first one being do not answer Becky's question at the end. No. No, I really like those. I haven't said it yet, but I really like the ships, the modeling. They look great. So
free green screen.
Yeah. I think I loved how the ships, like, everyone was getting higher and the ship goes up through the or whatever, I don't know if that was intentional, but
wasn't.
Oh, it's just like the ship goes up and everyone's just like getting more drugged.
Well, it's because Mac unhooked the ventilation system to build a pirate ship.
As you do.
Right, yeah.
You're out of your right mind. You're going to build a pirate ship.
Yep. Might as well.
Which I think that worked out. I had a very different pirate ship envision. We just didn't have enough stuff. So the fact that it became a dinghy and we made a joke out of it, I'm okay with.
Fair. That's fair.
More like
Max Shorts actually finally kind of made sense as well in that scene.
He's ready for the water.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
you just
hadn't
needed
even
some. Yeah.
hadn't put that together until just then. It was like, oh yeah, that totally makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, he just needed some water wings as well, or I don't know what you call them. Is that what you call them in America? I don't know.
So they'll blow up.
Yeah.
Bands, yeah.
Floaties. They're floaties.
Floaties. Okay.
Floaties, yeah.
You learn something new every day. So. Water wings in the UK, floaties here. So.
Even if we had thought of that back then, I don't know we'd been able to find ones that fit Eric's arms.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Or afford them on the budget.
I was going to say,
Those I might have been able to swing. Those I might have been able to swing. Might have been able to swing that. Oh. I think a camera stand in these episodes would have been nice. I think that's my biggest lesson. Camera stand.
Okay.
Would have been helpful in some of those shots.
I think more lights, but we talked about that for 1 and 2.
More lights is always great.
Yeah.
However, I mean, it makes sense that we didn't have more light in
this,
two
yeah.
episodes, yeah.
In these 2 episodes, yeah, for sure.
In fact, I actually had to go through and dim the lights so they would match.
Oh.
Just because some of that stuff was really bright. That cargo bay scene was painful and 8. I may be going back and tweaking that before I upload the episode tonight. See if I can get my white face to tone it down a little. Because I glow.
We get to shine on camera, but not in the way that you'd hope.
No, Connor understands that pain. Connor gets it.
I remember
Very pale.
Our budget was so low that at one point we didn't have enough extension cords for things. So out of my own pocket, I was like, "Hey Ron, here's $30. Go buy as many extension cords as you can." With
I remember that, and thank you for doing it.
I still use them, so it's it's good money. But
we were definitely short on a lot of things. But I will say, for what we had and what we were able to do,
oh yeah,
yeah.
We did really well. And Walt was always problem solving shots. We talked about that the other day.
Mm-hmm.
The short little corridors that turned. We've never had a long corridor in the ship.
There wasn't room for a long corridor in the ship.
Yeah. I think didn't we make like a hallway, but like I remember removing walls at one point with like, and then Becky, you had to be like on a trolley. I don't know when that happens. Before these episodes sequentially, I'm pretty sure. I think it's before episode 9 and before episode 10.
Never on a trolley.
There's something. No, the camera's on a trolley. Sorry.
The dolly.
It was on like the dolly. There we go. Whatever.
We didn't have a trolley, Connor. That's big budget. Big budget.
That means a different thing in the UK as well. So. What you would call a cart.
A shopping cart, yeah.
Shopping cart, yeah. I mean, we could probably have stolen a trolley from like, I don't know, Walmart or somewhere and just push Becky along in that instead.
Oh my goodness. We could have done a lot of things. I could have just gone and borrowed the wheelchair that my grandma has stashed if she ever needs a wheelchair.
There you go.
I've used those before for shoots. Yeah. And skateboards, those work.
Skateboards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up with the dolly that my brother made for a while.
Mm-hmm.
That heavy thing. And Walt had a dolly he brought in at one point, and then we just started using the one Steve left. Which
it was
great.
bigger and easier to
easier. It's
keep everything on.
Heavy and awkward.
Yeah, it was that.
It was. But it was sturdy. Never failed. He built that really well. So yeah, we had equipment coming from wherever we could get it. Wherever we could get it.
But I know that's part of where I learned so much on Fleet was seeing how everyone was able to problem solve things and make things work and use what we had. which is just a great learning experience to be around people that are like, all right, well, we don't have this, but let's figure out how to get it done. So,
and I really think that's like a third, maybe a quarter of all filmmaking is just, here's what I want to see. How can we do this? And then just running through all the different things until you come across something that's like, okay, this works. Let's go.
Yeah,
I was really impressed multiple times when Walt was directing of how much problem solving was going on and figuring stuff out. And yeah, it was I learned a lot just kind of watching you, Walt, and so thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
The majority of our really awesome shots came from Walt. Like when we had the explosion shot that we watched in 4 the other day, where we had stuff falling and panels falling, and it turned out really awesome. And then we had later on when Dan and Robbie pull me from the rubble, that turned out really cool. So we had a lot of really cool shots thanks to Walt. Sitting there going, okay, how are we going to do this? Me coming out of the track, we just moved one of the doors from the wall and moved the filming inside so that suddenly, oh, look, I'm in a corridor. But that was all problem solved because Walt was like, oh, how are we going to shoot this?
Where can we do this?
That was 50% of my days. You know?
Yeah.
And the rest of the time, I was saying, the rest of the time was saying, damn it, Dan. Get your lines out.
This is your 17th take. Come on, man.
I'm a perfectionist.
He is.
How many times you got to walk out that door? I mean, come on.
I think that was did we do 20 takes on that last shot or?
I think that's one of your few one takes, Dan.
Oh, okay.
It might be the only one take we have of you.
And if there were 4 other takes, it was because the door didn't open. You know?
Right.
It happened a lot. The door not opening.
Yeah, gets caught or falls off the track on the end.
Or Martin moves the wall. Did happen. But no, as an editor, that was something, those scenes that you did, Walt, were the easiest ones to edit together.
Oh, good.
I just had to do some color correction, add some sound effects, and hey, look. Maybe a little light at the end of the pole. Hey, look, it's done. Moving on.
And that added a lot, so thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I will, to piggyback on that, I feel like compared to the last episode, there was as far as an editing thing, the moments that were filmed seem to have had enough breath in them in this episode compared to the last one. The last one, there was just a few scenes that seemed a little bit cut short, but I feel like these ones kind of had more time to the right pauses and the right amount of essence, I guess you would say, needed for each one.
Yeah, sometimes you need that little teeny bit at the end just to let it breathe a moment before you jump into something, and this one did that better.
Yeah.
And some of that is, was the direction. Some of it was actors not being prepared. Some of it was we didn't get the shot.
Right.
Yeah.
So we had what I had to work with.
Yeah.
You did well.
You did, yeah.
That's why it's taken 9 years, because when we didn't get the shot, after you do 3 scenes where it's like, we didn't.
Yeah.
I gotta walk away. Take a break, come back, and go, oh, yeah. Megan will tell you, she's seen some of the footage where I'm like, oh, I think we might have another take of this. Why have we never used another take? And then I open it, and it's like the door opens, and everybody's sitting in the background.
There is one where like the door opens, you can see me sitting at the table and just like slowly.
You don't see me.
I'm not actually here.
Yeah. Or the door opens and there's one of the light stands with a piece of paper taped to it that says, "Don't hang anything on me." Things like that.
Yeah.
The day of, nobody noticed. Nobody noticed. A lot of the times, I'm in the scene and I'll walk out. Doesn't even click. I was like, oh, I was there. I could have done something. Didn't notice.
Do you know? I think to the point of things to learn and everything else, and going back to something that Connor mentioned about the previous episode in the previous one, having continuity on set is just massive, and having someone else with a pair of eyes there, because actors, we will. Some of us are better than others at the continuity, but it's also but not just that. It's kind of like having a set of eyes on what is actually in shot and what's going on.
Well,
we need to
on a higher budget thing, you have a video village, and there's someone sitting there literally with the script, just going through and going, "Oh wait, we saw this. We need to take care of this. We need to take care of that." And with this, we had the person looking in the camera, and me kind of looking over their shoulder and going. And I'm trying to watch the actors where they're at, and all the other things going on. So there's just not enough eyes on it to, on this budget.
Yeah. I think that's something for me, like something I'm storing away for future. If I'm ever behind the camera on something, is having a separate set of eyes other than my own, just kind of keeping an eye on that, because that is a huge thing. Because there's just so many things going on when you're focusing, and then. You watch the footage back afterwards and go, man, I missed that. So,
well, it's also, I mean, Megan and I have talked about it too, because when you have just the camera screen you're looking at, you don't see everything.
No.
So we've been talking about directing some shorts this year, and we're both was like, we need a monitor.
Yeah,
we
need something bigger so that we can catch those things in the corners and.
Catch some things in the corners, look at the shot, see how it's lined up, make sure we got it. Plus, it'll tell us more, like the camera's moving too much, for example.
Yeah.
Things like that.
That was all me. I'm sorry.
Some of it, yes. Yeah. It wasn't just you, Walt.
Oh, good.
It wasn't just you.
It was just the fleet version of Battlestar Galactica with the handhelds.
Right.
Yeah.
It was the fleet version of something, sure.
I mean, everyone was high.
Exactly.
There you go.
It only goes so far, Dan. That high does not last through editing.
Just filming.
Yeah.
I remember there was one really long scene where we walked down the corridor, we went into the elevator, and then we walked out of the elevator into a different corridor. And I don't know if that made it in or not, or if that's in something I haven't seen yet, but
I'm trying to remember what episode that's in.
Was it there was something about a track, and we were running around a track? Was that?
No, the track was that was already cut. But no, there was one where they were having a whole conversation. We walked down the long hallway. And then we got to the elevator, and they went in the elevator, and we heard the sound of we were like, okay, we hear the door shut. We hear they have a whole conversation in the elevator while it's moving. And then it opened again, and then we walked out. And while we were in the elevator, people were behind the scenes changing all the stuff on the walls. So it would be the different hallway when we came back out.
I want to say that's in episode 3.
Is it?
I think it was Megan and I.
I don't remember.
Because I walked down and I'm like, I'm not waiting on you, Rivera. We go in the lift, we have a little conversation, and then she walks out.
I think that's it.
So it was probably it.
Okay.
So
part
3.
Part of it's in there.
Okay.
I want to say at least part of it's in there.
I was always trying to get that long shot in.
Yeah, I vaguely remember the long shot, but I'm not positive if it was us. It might not have been when I was in.
I don't remember.
Again, if you're watching this after the fact, you already know.
Let us know.
You'll have watched episode 3, so you'll be kind of going.
I remember that. I remember hearing that because I remember you being so excited, Walt, because you were telling me we're gonna do this thing. I was like, okay. I don't remember what episode it was.
I don't. That was 9 years ago, and 10 episodes that were intermingled within each other, and yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm honestly surprised we got anything. Because everything intermingled.
It did, yeah.
It did because it had to, depending on who we had.
Right.
Because if we had people coming in from
80 people's schedules that you had to organize.
Yeah.
Well, in the rewrites, because people are like, oh, well, I did a couple episodes, now I'm out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let's give somebody else your lines. It's fine. We've had changes. Which is fine. People decided not to participate for various reasons, and that's cool. Not a big deal. We made it work with what we had. But yeah, anytime we had somebody coming in from like California,
yeah,
we had them for like 2 days, and then they had to piece. So we were getting everything in from all their stuff, which presented its own challenge because then it was usually a different director directing the rest of the scenes. But we made it work.
Yeah,
we definitely made it work. I would have a much smaller cast if I were to do this again. Smaller cast, fewer episodes. So we have the time to make it everything quality.
Yeah, one thing I did learn from that I've taken on to my other projects is, I make extra time for it so that I never have to get to the end of the day and go, okay, we got to hurry through this because we don't have time. It's like, no, we're going to do it all right. We're going to, we're going to put the extra, if we have an extra hour, that's great. We can cut it at the end, but we don't want to, I hate getting to the end of the day and going, we don't have time to do this. Just cut it short and do this, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a lot of prep work. It's a lot of planning. Also planning for what's going to go wrong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was Meghan and Walt, I think you were the champion of, oh, okay, well, that's not going to work. Let's find a way to make it work. Let's figure out what we need to do. Because when we originally shot that the corridor scene with me running on the track, it was blocked very differently, and then we had to change it, and that's how the door ended up on the inside. And I think it was Connor that pulled the door, and then I was there, and somebody was on the smoke machine, somebody was on the lights.
Yeah,
it's a whole process.
There's a lot that goes in to making those shots work, especially with the practical doors.
Yeah, those doors.
Oh
those
man,
doors. They were their own character.
Well, I think as well, like Walt was super prepared. From what I remember, like in terms of lists of shots that he was wanting to get and everything, which made a huge difference because I seem to recall, and I don't know which episodes they were, and not kind of calling anyone out or anything. I remember a couple of the episodes coming in, and they were like trying to figure out the shots as we were like before we filmed it. So we were all sitting in the upstairs, which was kind of basically in your kitchen in the green room area, going, okay, and there were these long periods of time where it wasn't just about kind of setting up the shot and making sure it worked. It was actually like planning the shot as well as the whole, and it just kind of, it made for some very long days. So I think that's a key thing, just for anyone who's watching this with a mind to, how do I even start being a DP or a director or anything like that, is make sure that you've got some sort of shot plan before you come on set. It can change, but have something.
Have something
before.
so you're sure you get the coverage, yeah.
And I mean, I don't know if you guys remember a lot, but there was often times where I'd just like, okay, we're going to start here, run through your, and we'd literally just shoot every rehearsal because there's no, one of them might end up being the one. And, people would walk down and they do something and it's like, okay, do that same thing again. Let's just change it to this and do this. So a lot of it was just letting the actors actually do what they feel was right, and then just making the minor adjustments for like the camera angles and like, okay, now you've done it from there. We need to get it, we obviously need to get the shot from here and from here, but that's just a lot of basic stuff a lot of the times.
Yeah, but not all directors are that way. I had a director that on this, I walked into set and they looked at me and said, okay, figure out your blocking. That was it was a thing. And I was like,
well, where's the camera going to sit?
I mean, I like to have an idea of what I want to see happen,
Right.
But, but yeah.
Yeah, no, not every director is prepared like that.
I felt though, Walter, that when you were directing that, I felt like all the coverage that we needed was going to get done. So it's like you had a list of what we needed to get, and it sort of took the pressure off, kind of. I think because I feel like we were all equally invested in it to the point that, or certainly I wanted to make sure that it was going to be the best it could be. So
Right.
there was always a voice at the back of my head going, "Have we got everything we need?" And I didn't feel like that voice was dialed right down whenever you were sitting there, because I was like, okay, I can trust that Walt's got this. So I could just concentrate on doing what I was meant to be doing, which was the performance bit of it. So yeah.
But the real question is, then we go to Becky and say, Becky, did we get everything we needed? And she's going to tell me as an editor, no, but we got a lot of it.
Well, I will tell you, out of all of the directors that we had, including me, you had the most options for an editor.
Okay.
There were some times where I was like, "Ugh, we didn't quite get that shot," but I was able to, figure it out because we had enough coverage of everything. I mean, there were scenes that we went clear up to like the letter S on our takes, and we had like anywhere from 2.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
9,
Damn it,
9
Dan.
takes of that. I know. Damn it, Dan. So you always made sure we had the coverage and the angles. You were the one that if I was clicking through and I'm like, I wonder if we have another angle of this, and I would click in and there's not, I was like, oh, well, that's a unicorn. Doesn't happen with Walt, because Walt makes sure we have we always had the coverage.
That was the day I had a migraine,
Or there were days where we did run out of time on some things. Like there was that scene with Melissa and I at the end of 5. And it's just that quick scene. She's like, "Hey, I'm supposed to like escort you to your quarters or whatever." And I'm like, "Really?
Oh, right.
Really?" There was only 2 takes of that, and one of them was just full of bloopers because Melissa and I couldn't get our lines right.
And the other one was like, you know what, that one worked. We're good.
Great. We're done.
We're good.
It's
10:30 at night. I got to work in the morning. We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You always made sure we at least had one good take, which I appreciated.
And you guys always gave, usually more than one good take, because I like to do the one for safety. But it's like,
yeah, you were always the one more for safety. 5 later.
Yeah.
Five
what
takes
if
later.
we do this? Yeah.
Again, sorry.
Damn it, Dan.
Damn it, Dan.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. As you can all see, we had way too much fun working together on this. Anybody else have something that we learned that you wanted to share?
All learned out.
All learned out. Any funny memories that have come to mind you want to share?
I don't know how that pirate mustache ended up on my face.
Listen, that was all you and Jacob.
It was, yeah.
Was it?
Yeah, you guys showed up in makeup, and we were like, "Oh,
okay."
You
That's
had a
where we're
whole
going.
plan, Eric.
I see. Again, 8 years ago, I don't remember anything.
Everything
I remember you
do
being
with your character is from your brain. With the exception of the shorts. I found the shorts at a Target, I think it was. And I was like, how do you feel about swim trunks? And you're like, all right.
Great. Yeah, it works.
It's great for the character.
That was fun.
But
It was fun.
all the quirky stuff with Mac you brought to that table. The bandolero tool belt and the mustache for the pirates. All of that was you.
Crazy. Who knows what headspace I was in then? I have no idea.
No, but
that was fun
that
episode.
was-
Really fun episode.
That was something as a writer. It was because I always pictured Mac being a quirky character and like Rivera being this uptight, like awkward duck. And you guys both brought it. You brought those characters to life in
Oh, yeah.
ways that I never, even as a writer, I didn't think about. and it was always fun to watch. A lot of our cast did.
Yeah,
because I talked about Noah and Haley. Like they brought Adrian and Joanna to life, ways I never would have thought of.
Yeah.
So many of us. Dan, just epitome of Jack.
I'm glad you went there. I was waiting for epitome of something.
The epitome of
unprofessionalism.
Life. Same with Connor, like the younger brother to everybody. That was Vogel's character description, I think, and he was.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys, without all of you and all the different things that you did to help, Fleet wouldn't have happened. Like I said it the other day, it's a collaborative art form, what we do, and a lot of people don't understand that. And it's unfortunate, because when you have that collaboration and you can get together on a Zoom 9 years later when the project's finally finished and still be laughing about the ridiculousness of this adventure, it shows that we really did have a good time and we work well together. And we have fond memories of that time, even though that time was stressful for me. I don't know about the rest of you.
What do you mean to like turn your house into a film set for 2 years? I mean,
right.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Just have us all hang out in your kitchen for hours on end.
Days
There was
on
a lot of hangout time in that kitchen. There was also a hangout in my bedroom one day up on the top floor. Apparently foot massages were happening.
Oh, someone was doing foot mapping.
That's what it was.
Oh, it was
Where was I?
the one that got.
You were downstairs. What was
she doing? You were doing your job.
With me while we were downstairs working. While that was happening upstairs.
The one that got sucked into the wall. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. Britt, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
She was like doing foot map. It was like, yeah, it was a thing.
Okay.
She still does it. She still does it. She's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, no, just thank you guys, because without all of you, this wouldn't have happened. It would not have happened.
Yeah.
Had you all not said yes to my cuckoo, as Emily put it the other day on social media, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs idea.
That was a great thing for that.
Yeah, it was. Because it's true.
I almost posted it, and I was like, "Oh, there's a few things there I don't think I would say." So I'm gonna, I posted it differently, but
Thanks, Walt.
Yeah.
So no, just thank you guys, because that it helped make this happen. It gave me a lot of really good, fun memories. I will never forget the day Eric and Connor argued for 45 minutes about what was the straight edge of the reclaimed plywood.
This one has the paint. No, that one does. Yeah. Lots of that.
45 minutes.
Wow. Back and forth.
And I was like
repeatedly.
Not gonna get in the middle of this.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. Those moments with each one of you, I treasure.
Did we not have like a quiet on set red light, which was like, didn't you like mock something up for that?
Partway through, we came up with something.
Yeah, it was to make sure that the toilet didn't get flushed in the middle of the scene.
Yeah,
that happened a ton of times.
That happened. I do remember that.
Well, we had the little like office lamps like this one here.
Yeah.
Remote, but we kept losing the remote.
Yeah, and then you'd be sitting in the kitchen, you'd just hear someone shouting from the back, "We're filming!"
Damn it, Dan!
No, yeah.
And you're all in one household, so it's not like sound doesn't travel from floor to floor. It's just like, hey, someone's walking upstairs. You need to.
I swear there was one, and I don't remember what day it was. I think we had a lot of kids in one day, and they were great. It was the grown-ups who were taking us because every single time someone shouted action, someone decided at that moment, I'm going to get up and go and get some chips. So they walked across like on every action, and it was just. And even though people had been told don't walk because it can be heard through the house and everything else, and you'd see people like taking their shoes off so that they could go in their socks, and it's like. What part of like how long does is the camera going to be rolling for? It's going to be like a minute, 2 minutes. maybe 5 minutes. You know, can you not just not put something? And the kids were, and as I say again, the kids were great. They were so well behaved.
Yeah.
And it was their parents who were just like, "No, I'm going to get some chips now."
It wasn't even the parents; it was cast and crew, namely cast. Although Walt was guilty of one of those, he was eating chips during one of the takes. Because there.
Really?
Becky's like, I have proof.
In the middle of the scene, and it was a scene I was in, and my brother was there DPing for you.
Okay.
And you're like, okay, yeah, go ahead, roll it. And then you disappeared into the kitchen because we were on the second floor. And in the take, we're filming the take, and you hear a crunch. And Steven's like, Walt! There were a few of those. We heard Walt.
I should have known better. Yeah.
So it wasn't me that time. I just wanted to say it right here, right now, so it's on record.
But damn it, Walt doesn't just roll off the tongue.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So
that alliteration.
Forever and always will be
Right.
damn it, Dan.
No, even if it was Walt, yeah, it's still gonna be
Yeah.
damn it, Dan.
Yeah.
Damn it, Dan.
Well, it was your fault. Damn it, Dan.
I mean, it was. What was it? He kept calling Kyle something else.
I did. It took like
It's
I worked with Kyle for like 3 days, and I could not remember his name. After I was like, "What's that guy's name again?" Yeah,
Yeah, you kept calling him something. I know it ended up on the call. Well,
I'm really bad with names because everyone I know is Eric is Matt in my head. Sorry, It's like, that's,
I think you'll remember my name though.
yeah.
Yeah.
we can't forget
I
your
think everyone
name,
will.
Dan.
Yeah.
More enthusiastic cameraman.
it got so quiet.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I think they're looking for Kyle's name.
Yeah.
Or Kyle's not
Yeah,
name,
Bryce-
I guess.
Bryce Bishop is the Biden of Fleet. We said a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jacob had never peeled a hard-boiled egg. That's on here. How do I open this?
I remember Melissa was on one day talking about penises.
Yep. The Garden of Penises. Yeah. It's on.
Garden of Penises.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then there's this Garden of Penis. She was talking about a show.
Yeah, there was nudity
she had
involved, and
Yeah,
it
she didn't
downhill
realize.
very fast. It's on there. Lauren was upset because somebody called him a weasel.
Oh yeah, there's Melissa's penises flapping in the wind.
That wouldn't just.
Oh yes, it's bringing
Yeah. She was, and every time she would like try and backtrack and be like, no, but, and then she would just say something else that was more. It was fun.
Somewhere.
I don't see it.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember what you called him, Tim or something. It was nowhere near Kyle.
No, nowhere near
Finally,
Kyle.
I was like, his name is Kyle, right?
I remember you telling me that. It's like, oh yeah, really?
Yeah,
Shoot.
he just kept answering to it.
He just did. He answered to it, so I just kept calling him that. Hey.
Which I mean, I get that. I apparently answered to Nancy.
Oh.
Didn't even realize it.
There you go.
It happens. When you have stuff going on, people start calling you names, and sometimes you just don't. It doesn't register.
Right.
But no, we had a lot of. We had way too much fun. But no, thank you again, everybody. I really, really do appreciate you taking the time out to do this 9 years later, and just share your memories and the things. I know it's been a minute, but I do appreciate having the conversations about all the things we learned. Because we did. We all learned a lot. We all learned a lot. For some of us, it was our first time doing a series. That was always something I heard in Utah where this was filmed is I don't get any opportunities. I'm not. That's why we had a big cast. That's why we did this.
It was nice. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Walt.
I was just gonna say, and the fact that it was a sci-fi series, that's you watch them your whole life, but the odds of ever getting on a sci-fi show of any kind, if you go get on anything, it's a post-apocalyptic, and we're not going to use more than one person because you're just going to be out in the desert walking around somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And this was actually a sci-fi series that was a hardcore. It was which is even more impressive when you put it in someone's house.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, I don't recommend doing that.
Well, except you have the wonderful carpets for the spaceship, so
yes.
Which
Anywhere.
I just say it was really lovely having a progression, like for a character on what, because so often you kind of you come in and even when you're filming on a movie or something like that, it's because it's condensed. There's a progression, but you don't have so long to sit with the character. So it was nice to live with Jack and even live with him for a couple of years because it took that long to film it. So it was
because we filmed on the weekends.
Yes.
Yeah.
People had jobs. No budget, you got to make it work.
No. But I appreciated that longevity of the character and the through line and everything. So it was very fun and rewarding to do.
Yeah. I am grateful and forever will be grateful for everything that everybody did and contributed, and because again, without all of you, it doesn't happen. I can have however many great ideas, but if I don't have people that say yes, let's do this thing, let's come together, let's make this little space show, it doesn't.
Then you have to cut out scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It had to happen, unfortunately, because we didn't get the shot or timing or.
Yeah.
But that's any show.
Oh yeah.
Scenes get filmed, scenes get cut, and nobody ever knows.
Yeah, you watch something about a 2-hour Marvel movie, and it's like, oh, we shot 300 hours, 400 hours of footage, and then we had to put it into this. It's like, well, we did the same thing with. I mean, your number of hours per minute or whatever is almost standard. It's just.
Yeah. I mean, we have a ridiculous amount of footage.
Yeah.
For what we did.
Mm-hmm.
So, considering it was no budget,
and that's part of your editing struggles as well, is having to sift through absolutely everything.
With that, and
I know you sat there and watched every possible option.
Totally did that, and watching myself because I am my own worst critic.
Aren't we all?
So I remember telling Cassie at one point, because she was focusing more on the rough cut of things originally, and I told her, I said, if it comes down to a scene where I'm in it, I'm not going to be able to make the call because I am my own worst critic. You're gonna have to make that call. And I said, and if it comes down to it, my performance isn't good, put it on my scene partner every single time.
And
that's what
there's already been multiple shots in ones we've already watched where your scene was the best scene in it, and you said, oh, we added that back in because I cut it. There's been at least 2 of those already in the series that made it into the final cut. And I was like, oh, that was the best scene in it,
Yeah, again, I'm my own worst critic.
Yeah.
But 9 years later, I can look back and go, okay, this scene's actually not that bad, and it has information that affects the rest of the storyline.
Yeah.
So let's make sure that gets in there. Like that scene with Noah and I, where we're talking about, do you remember, what you wanted to be when you grew up or whatever?
Oh, right.
Yeah, that got added in like 2 days ago.
And it's a good scene.
It's a good scene, and you need it in 9 when it's all just Goofy and us running around and.
Yeah.
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 You need that grounding scene.
Yep.
Yeah. No, there were parts of that I didn't like how it was shot. Again, I'm my own worst critic. So, it's been good for me to have you guys finally see this and to hear the feedback, like, that's not as bad as you think it is. Because I've stared at it for 9 years.
Yeah.
And like I said, when I see certain scenes that I filmed, I'm remembering where I was that day. Like there's that scene in 1. I told Walt the other day, I said, I was having such a hard time with that scene because I could not see out of my contacts. They were fogging over.
The reason it looks like I'm about to cry in the scene is this.
It was my contacts.
But it works great for the scene.
You know, and then there was the scene with Haley and Five where I had just gotten devastating news. Like, that's what I remember from those scenes. And so for me, that's what I remember. And I just can't see, I have a hard time seeing past that. To being like, okay, the performance isn't that bad. It's just, that's what I remember. So this has been good for me. And hopefully it's been good for you guys to see what you did forever ago. Eric and his ridiculous death scene as a pirate. I think he's done. Oh no.
No.
Nope.
But, I mean, I also made this comment to Becky, I don't know, a week or so ago probably, but it's just nice because I feel like a lot of times you do volunteer to be in projects for people and then you just never see it ever again. So yes,
Right.
did it take 9 years? Sure, but she finished it. And how many people just leave it as, I can't finish it, I won't finish it, I'm just gonna leave it as it is, and then we never see the performances. So there is
Yeah, that's a huge
enjoyment of just like seeing a finished product. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge kudos to Becky for finishing it. And not just, I mean, given the length of it as well, like how, it's not even like I've been on short films that were like 10 minutes long tops and never saw the finished product. So it's to get something out of that is I don't know what, about 5 hours in total or something. Ish.
5 hours for what now?
The finished
Total.
product.
The finished
10
product.
episodes, about a half hour.
Like 10. Is that about right?
Not of my experience.
Is it less than that?
Not of my experience.
I'm going on. Wait.
Well,
I'm going on.
How long are the episodes?
Oh,
is what he's asking.
Have probably close to like 300 hours of footage, Dan.
No, but what's finished?
No. But what's
How long are the
what
finished
finished
episodes?
product is? So yeah.
Episodes are anywhere from about 12 minutes to 17 minutes.
Okay. Then maybe 2.5, 3 hours. But even so, it's still to get that much out and finish it is something that's worth noting.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, and I'll be honest, it's been on my to-do list, and it got to the point last year where I sat down with a mentor who she'd asked me, because we're new mentor-mentee, essentially, and she asked me, like, well, what's something you've worked on? And I turned my house into a spaceship. Oh, well, where can I see that? You can't. You can't. I said, and I told her the plan for it was this right here. And she actually got really excited about it. And this is someone who's worked in LA for decades. And I was like, I should look at finishing that. And then it just got to the point this last year with everything slowing down in the industry and having the challenge of finding work even here in LA. I was just like, I feel like this is holding me back because it's not done.
Right.
And that's been the driving force to finish it. So when did I start editing this again? October?
Yeah.
And it's been a great creative outlet to keep me sane.
Well, and it's clearing up a whole bunch of brain space as well, I'm sure.
New Zealand in September.
When you left for New Zealand, I actually just hermited and completely shut down for like 3 weeks.
So it's when I got back.
But when you got back, I really started getting into it because I was like, it's holding me back at this point because it's just this undone thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I delved into it, and it, like I said, it has been great for my mental health to have something creative with the world. We'll just leave that at that.
Yeah.
So I've been very grateful for it. And then to the thought of actually finally sitting down with whoever was available for these, I was like, we're going to have some laughs. This will be great. This will be great. Talking about the things we learned and everybody's thoughts now that we're 9 years later. Mm-hmm. And it's been wonderful. It's also been good to hear different things because I felt like a hot mess when we filmed this.
You kind of were.
Yeah. But hearing from like Dan today that I put on a very confident front. Cool. I didn't know I could do that. You know? So it's been really good for me, especially just hearing all of this, because a lot of the time you jump into something like this, I had no idea what I was doing. And I was learning on the fly for most of it.
Yeah.
And so knowing that, it's a good reminder that I know more than I think I do.
Yeah.
So, but yes.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Well, we thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Hey, anytime I got a spot for you. Like, you know, you're on my what's the word? List? Phone
Short list?
Call list?
Short list.
Hit list.
You're on the
Hit list.
You're on A list.
One of
And
those
the
lists.
shit list is not
Yeah.
good. You're not on that. You're not on that. It's
Anymore.
way too fun to say damn it, Dan. So you're not on the shit list. You're fine. You may get blamed for everything, but you're not on the shit list. You're cool. You're cool. But no, y'all are on my short list for sure. Anytime I have something that we can finagle. But yeah. All right. Anybody have anything else? No.
Good.
All right. On that note, folks, that was episode 9. 9 of 10. Woohoo! Yay! Woo! Very exciting things. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.
Thank
Bye.
you.
See-